Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships and Happy New Year's to everyone. It is officially 2019 and what not better way to start off this year with a World of Warships replay from a good friend of mine, Lord Ecthelion. Haven't actually seen him in a while, so he actually got around to talking and he mentioned that he had this really intense game in the Icarus, and he is currently joined with Ski. Let's see, Ski is in the Alba, and I have actually not watched this replay. So this will be kind of a learning experience. I know I probably should watch replays first, but I trust his judgment. So starting off this map is, well, this match is going to be a little bit slow. It's not until the very end that it gets apparently very intense. So Lord Ecthelion, I'm just gonna say Lord, it's just gonna be a little bit easier than trying to say both those words together. Lord is in the British DD, tier 6 DD, Icarus. Overall, not a bad ship. I didn't mind the Icarus that much. I didn't think it was the worst thing in the world. Has decent detect for its tier, decent torpedo range, and guns are, the guns are a bit iffy. They're not particularly amazing. Now, Lord is actually a DD main, and he's really good as a DD player. And he is currently taking on the frigate, does run aground. And, you know, Lord, me saying that you're a really good DD player makes it a little bit difficult when you do run aground like that. It does smoke up. Unfortunately, lost sight of the enemy frigate. And obviously does pop his hydro because, well, it is a frigate and it is actually fairly close, so more than likely torpedoes are on the way. Now the hydro range on the Icarus is not particularly amazing. It's only 3 kilometers, but that's 1 additional kilometer more useful than your just normal close proximity detect. Now we do know the frigate's at least still in there because it does look like the CV, and I completely forgot to mention, there are 2 CVs in this battle. And oh, Farragut. Oh, Farragut. Devastating strike and first blood. Very nice job. Takes out the enemy Farragut with little issue. And unfortunately, CVs are going to be the bane of Lord's main issue during this battle, as we will be seeing a little bit later. Now he's going to be able to manage fully capture A with little resistance. There's actually only 2 destroyers in this match, and the enemy team have already lost 1 of theirs, but obviously the main concern is going to be, in fact, the CVs, which, once again, there are 2, and I probably should go ahead and point this out. It is an Independence and a Bogue, and that Independence does have manual drop while the Bogue does not, so that's something to keep in mind. He is obviously being pestered by the CVs, whose fighter is currently sitting above him but currently chasing after now the friendly CV's torpedo planes. Now the CV rework is currently in process, and this will obviously mean that CVs will no longer have the same capability of providing spots and eyes for all the friendly ships out there. So, good thing, bad thing. Just gotta take it with a grain of salt. Lord is doing a little bit of damage against that Dallas. Dallas is fairly dangerous against any destroyers. Is in smokescreen, but that smokescreen is not gonna last him for very long. Because keep in mind, it is a British smokescreen, so it is a very short duration smokescreen. And yes, Lord is quickly trying to get out of there, trying to get at least solid cover between himself and the Dallas. Fortunately, the enemy CV is not actually currently bringing any of his fighters over, hoping to get a torp drop on the Friedrich. I really don't understand people why they bought the Friedrich. I guess they just really wanted that ship quite a bit that they actually decided to spend the money on that. Does send a wave of torpedoes just in case this Friedrich decides to reverse, because it does look like he is slowing down. We'll see if he gets lucky on those torpedo hits. Now the friendly team, well, currently they are somewhat in the lead because they do manage to have A, but the enemy CVs are doing very good work on taking out friendly ships, and at the moment they are currently have no control over B, no control over C, so things are looking a little bit dicey at the moment. We'll see what is going to happen. It does look like the CVs are doing their level best on taking out enemy battleships, but the friendly team is just losing ships left and right. They're currently down 4-2, and they've just lost their QE. And that drop there did not go very well. No torpedo hits on that Koenig. He is getting a little bit close. Might want to hold on to his torpedoes, but is going to get spotted here in just a moment. Does drop his torpedoes. His second rack is on cooldown, as he did fire it a little bit earlier. Now he's being very, very aggressive right now. Opening up, it is just a Koenig. Fortunately, Koenig dispersion is somewhat terrible, but its secondaries are kind of scary, especially at this low tier. Now granted, more than likely it does not have any special captain skills or even maybe modules that would increase the dispersion. Who knows? But those torpedoes are looking really good. Let's see if he can actually manage to get one hit. Yes, he does get a hit. Does cause a flooding, and it does look like this Koenig is going to flood and is currently on fire. And let's just hopefully they can take them out. But at the exact same time, the friendly team have just lost one of their CVs, and it was in fact the tier 6 Independence. And this is not very good. Losing a CV while there are in fact two gives very much control of the enemy teams in the sky. That's not what you want to see. Now health is going to play a very important factor in this game, as we will be seeing later. But hopefully this Koenig should go down to Lord with a fire. Very, very nice. He is pushing in to B, is probably going to get spotted, and I do apologize. I don't know why the current replay is providing a little bit of hiccup when I'm in the player view. So I'm going to keep it outside of that and just try to enjoy it. Koenig is reversing, which is not, it's not the worst idea in the world, but does mean it is going to take him a little bit of time to get up to speed. Fortunately, well, the CVs are not currently going after Lord at the moment, but does get spotted by the fighters that are currently going after the friendly CVs, torp planes, and yes, this is going to be a losing battle for the CVs. There's just nothing really much they can do. I'm trying to even think what the other one is. A Zuho against a Independence and a Bogue. Yeah, unfortunately that Zuho is going to have very much major issue with maintaining control in this guy, but it does look like Lord is going to be able to at least capture B. Now he is pushing towards the enemy forces that are pushing towards our friendly team, and at the exact same moment the Bogue does take out the friendly Zuho, and things are going to be a little dicey right now. Don't know if all those torp planes and dive bombers have unloaded their drops. Hopefully they have. It does look like that is the case, because they aren't currently going after Lord at the moment. And Lord is trying to provide as much support as he can, but I think right now the best idea is actually try to capture C and try to at least keep a point at lead ahead of the enemy team. But obviously he is currently being spotted, and that is an Omaha. Granted, Omahas are not particularly dangerous to battleships and are usually favorite praise of battleship. But against destroyers, even Omaha can be fairly dangerous, and right now Lord cannot really Can't lose any health, or else this might go turn for the worse. Now, things are looking quite terrible for the friendly team. There are currently 4 ships to 6, and there are still 2 CVs, and it does look like the CVs might be looking for Lord. And I'm very curious why that fighter group's not just hovering over Lord right now. Now, I do have a mod on, and it looks like it's a little bit bugged. If you can see right below the navigator mod, there is the AA that we currently can see on Lord's ship. Keep an eye on that. That will play kind of an importance right there. He is currently dropping torpedoes towards the Friedrich, and unfortunately not much I can do as far as actually targeting that ship, so we can't really see the lines. And here comes the dive bombers, and once again, not what you want to see, especially with American dive bombers. Does take out at least one dive bomber there, but does get hit by the incoming planes. Does get into sea, which is good, going to mean that he's going to at least capture it. And oh, those torpedoes. Oh, nice job there. 7 torpedoes. Battleship kept sailing straight. That is kill number 3 for Lord, and is going to at least capture C. He's currently sitting at 106,508 points of damage. Enemy team is once again just pushing directly towards our friendly team, but it does look like the CVs are, well, they're very well aware of Lord's existence, and is currently bringing in another dive bomber group. And it does look like Lord is going to try to smoke up and try to preserve his health a little bit. Does unfortunately get hit, which does reset the cap for another 40 seconds. Now, I'm actually very curious whether or not this torp group was in fact from the enemy Bogue or from the Independence. If it was from the Bogue, it does mean that it will not be able to drop into the smoke screen, because automatic drops do require at least a ship to be visible to drop, while manual obviously does not. And I'm guessing, and it can be quite scary because torps can just pop out of nowhere. Hydro does not help with this. He is throttling his engines. He is well aware of the fact that there could be torps incoming, but does look like he is going to capture the sea capture. His smoke screen does go down, and yep, there are 2 torpedo squadrons right hovering above him, and it does look like it's in fact the Independence torp squadrons. Kind of curious why it did not at least attempt to drop one. Wow, that was those were interesting drops. Fortunately, the British destroyers are fairly nimble with their ability to quickly turn and change directions, just because you do run the rudder shift, because you do not have the ability to get the engine module. But unfortunately, here comes the dive bombers, and once again, those are American dive bombers, and they hit pretty hard. Takes a big chunk out of his health. Currently, the friendly team is down to 1 less battleship. It does look like Ski did go down, and he is pushing towards the enemy CVs, maybe looking to at least take them out. But fortunately for the friendly team, they are in fact ahead in points and are in fact ahead in cats, because the enemy team really haven't tried to do anything about those capture points, which is a very silly idea. Granted, there are in fact only 2 ships left. The New Mexico actually gets a kill, takes out the enemy Omaha, which grants them more points. And does look like Lord is at least hoping to find the CV. Still a very dangerous target, especially due to the fact that there are in fact still 2 CVs, and it looks like the Independence dive bombers are incoming. Oh, things are going to be a little bit dicey. He's going to have to really rely on being able to maneuver. And unfortunately, the New Mexico does go down to the enemy New Mexico, leaving Lord all by him lonesome. Gets hit by the dive bombers, does pop his damage control, because that fire is going to obviously dwindle the remaining last bit of his health, and things are definitely very dicey. Now there are 5 minutes left in this match. 5 minutes for the enemy CVs to attack Lord with impunity, because at the moment, as you can see, Lord doesn't have any more AA guns. All of his AA guns have been destroyed from the dive bomber attacks, and in essence, he is quite defenseless. I do recall Ski was pointing out that he should be pressing his P and using his AA guns, and well, as you probably are now well aware after I just spoke about it, he has none, and he is just gonna have to rely on his maneuverability. Now he does have one smoke screen left. However, the smoke screen, well, it's a short duration smoke screen and will at least give him about 30 to 45 seconds of some manner of invisibility. Now he is doing a very interesting thing. He is turning away, gets hit by the enemy dive bombers, leaving him at 171 points of health, and that is not a lot of health. One strong breeze from anyone, just hold your breath, and if you don't, the ship is going to go down, and is constantly being spotted by the enemy CVs. All they have to do is land one bomb or even a torp hit, and that is going to be victory for the enemy team. And Lord is taking his time. Incoming torp planes. Oh, this is going to be a little dicey. He does slow up. Oh, scraping the paint off the side of the ship. Holy crap, that was very intense right there. Very interesting choice. Slowed up. That was I was squeezing my ass right there, like trying to clench my butt. That was way too intense right there. So the enemy team is now officially capturing A, but they are down about 400 points, and there is 3 minutes left on the clock at the moment. They really should be trying to be pushing their way over here. The only major issue right now is Lord is currently fully visible to the enemy team, and anyone can in fact start shooting at him, so he is trying to get a little bit of distance into open ocean to where he might be able to be a little bit more maneuverable. One other thing to keep in mind, he's actually getting more distance from the enemy CVs and their planes, so it's taking them a lot longer. Ooh, yep, incoming fire from the enemy battleship. So more distance he's creating between the two CVs means more time it's going to take them to send out their planes to attack him and bring them back to reload them. And keep in mind, the Bogue is not a fast ship. The Independence, however, is actually a fairly fast ship. And he does look like he does pop his smoke screen. Gets undetected, speeds up just a little bit, slows back down. Just trying to at least keep him undetected for a little bit longer. But once again, this smoke screen does not last for very long. This is only going to last him for another 17 seconds. And there's still about 1 minute and 15 seconds left on this clock. Okay, good. Last puff of smoke screen is down. Oh, this is going to be intense. He has a little bit under 1 minute left, and more than likely the enemy CVs are going to have almost all their planes above him. He has to survive. He has 171 points of health. Gets up to speed, gets moving. Major issue right now is going to be those dive bombers. If one bomb lands on him, that is going to be end of this battle. Oh no. Now, whenever dealing with dive bombers, you don't want to stay lengthwise. You want to go parallel with them, because that is more than likely their bombs are going to in fact miss. Incoming the enemy Bogue's dive bombers, and does pipe his hydro. Kind of curious. Once again, now keep in mind the Bogue does have automatic drops, does turn lengthwise, gets hit, pops his damage control, leaving with 122, only 50 points of health there, but he is going to in fact survive this with 4 seconds on the clock, and that is going to be a victory for Lord in the Icarus. And with that is a victory for Lord in the Icarus. 353,682 silver, 30,190 XP, but most importantly, he earned a solo warrior because there was in fact 4 ships left on the enemy team. When they won due to points, earned a devastating strike, and first blood, 106,506 points of damage, but a solo warrior with 122 points of health, I believe, is still fantastically amazing, especially considering there were in fact the enemy CV's planes constantly dropping on him. Oh, that was very intense battle right there. It does mean that he is currently top of the team with a base XP of 2,140. Oh, but take a look at this. His health pool, damage received 14,079. And I believe the Icarus has 14,200, something like that. So very close to dying right there. But very intense battle. He does get very nice damage against that Friedrich. 54,400 brought him from full health to 0. 35,088 from the Koenig, and 10,000 from the Farragut. So very fantastic battle from Lord in the Icarus. And that is going to be it for this replay. So once again, thank you guys all so much for watching, and thank you for supporting me throughout the year. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully it will be another fantastical year of 2019, and I hope you guys have a good one, and I hope you guys had a good time last night, because it is New Year's Eve, so celebrate. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.